I'm GreenBiz editor Lauren Hepler, here live at the Clean Energy Ministerial SEM 7 in downtown San Francisco. Joining me now is Joan McNaughton, the executive chair of the World Energy Trilemma at the World Energy Council. Thank you for joining us, Joan.
It's a pleasure.
Great. So tell us a little bit about what does trilemma mean in the energy context?
Trilemma tries to capture the fact that you've got three goals for energy policy. Energy security, which is about energy supply, what we call energy equity, which is about affordability of energy services, and in some developing countries, access to energy services. And finally, environmental sustainability. So your energy has to be clean as you can make it.
Right, so I'm curious about the context here. Obviously, we're coming off of the Paris climate talks. You guys have been doing this report now for this is the 5th year after 5 years. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the key takeaways at this juncture?
Yes, our work actually looks at countries' performance against those three goals using authoritative data from respected international institutions. And it's analysed for us by Oliver Wyman, our global partner in the analysis. We look at the data, we do deep dives into some of the policies of the 130 countries that we survey, and we conduct interviews with hundreds of energy business leaders, policymakers, and the financial community relevant to the energy sector. That research gives us a picture of what the trends have been over the past 5 years. And this year we've pulled out some case studies which illustrate what's good policy, what lessons can be learned. What our research shows is that regardless of your natural resource endowment, how wealthy a country you are, geographical location, the key differentiator in countries' performance is the quality of their policies and how well they're executed. And when I say the quality of their policies, that doesn't mean there's a single policy that you can link in a simple way to trilemma performance. It's actually about how well designed your policies are and how well you implement them.
It's an interesting approach. Are there a couple of key factors you'll be looking at moving forward?
Yes, we'll continue to look at the policy, and the message I would give to the policymakers is this is a great tool to use to learn from others, to try new approaches which may have worked elsewhere, and to ensure that when you implement your policies, you get it right. Let me give you an example. We've got examples of policies which were well designed, but because of a failure to engage communities early on, you didn't get the buy-in, and then you had delays to the projects and so on. So that's very important. The final point is that time matters, and this comes back to the Paris Agreement in December. All countries have made pledges to embark on the energy transition in order to combat the threat of climate change. What we can see is because it takes 10 to 15 years to devise these policies and to implement them, to build the new infrastructure and so forth, if you're going to make good on your promises in the 2020s, you really have to start now.
Makes sense. Joan McNaughton, thanks so much for joining us. Look up the new World Energy Trilemma report out just this week.